And following breaking news on our Live Well network, joining us now live, we are just beginning a news conference now in Gilbert related to those shootings that left 5 people dead yesterday. Yeah, and at the center of this shooting, J.T. Reddy, a very controversial figure in Arizona politics. Let's go ahead and take that news conference live.
It hasn't really changed in any great direction. Up to this point, we still believe all the facts that we stated this morning, that this was a murder-suicide, that Mr. Reddy did commit those acts. A couple of things that we are going to reintroduce or that are going to be new is we had an opportunity again to listen to, or I did have an opportunity to listen to the 911 call. I know that's some of the questions that we've been having. Right now we're working on releasing that information for your public records request. But in the call, it was clearly stated this was a domestic violence situation. Those 2 words were used, domestic violence, when who we believe asked for the police to come. So that's one of the things we'll be releasing at a later point after we have the opportunity to process the 911 calls and get that to our records division and get out to you. Secondly, I know that there were some questions about how many times we were at this address. We were at this address 5 previous times from 2009 until now. We went to the Tumbleweed address in November of 2009 for a suicide threats call where Miss Amber Medeiros was threatening suicide. In August of 2011 for disorderly conduct, where Miss Reddy was the victim, or Mr. Reddy was the victim, excuse me. Suspicious activity report in August of 2011 where Mr. Reddy was a reporting party. In a vehicle burglary where Amber was the victim, and an aggravated assault report in February 2012 where Lisa Medeiros was a reported victim and Mr. Reddy was the suspect. Now that report came to us over a 6-month delay. She reported 6 months after the incident happened. There was no probable cause in that case established and no arrests were made. Those are the only extra details we have at this point. I do want to give the opportunity for the mayor to give a brief statement before I conclude this. Mr. Mayor, if you'd like to talk, please.
I'm Mayor John Lewis of Gilbert, and a common phrase that our citizens of Gilbert often hear me say is, "This is another great day in Gilbert." And I have 1,000 reasons to say that from the past and 1,000 reasons why I will say that in the future, but yesterday was a tough day in Gilbert. It was a sad day. It was a tragic day. To our Gilbert Police Department, who are now involved in a very large criminal investigation, we thank them for their leadership. To our Gilbert Fire Department and the neighboring communities, yesterday especially, who provided additional public safety support, we thank them for their efforts, for their leadership, and the state and federal agencies who are continuing to assist us. The teamwork has been exceptional, and we thank all those involved. Representing our Gilbert community, we offer our condolences to family and friends who are directly and indirectly impacted by the events of yesterday. And as a community, we continue to express our appreciation for our public safety heroes who each day put their lives on the line to protect and serve our community. And I do look forward, as the investigation is completed, to be able to continue to express appreciation, and other Gilbert elected officials likewise want to do so, but until the investigation is completed, we will continue to have you look to our Gilbert Police Department for direction of what is happening, and we thank them for their continued efforts.
With that, I know there's only a few things that are new. We don't believe that this is going to go anyplace differently. The investigation, we don't believe it's going to go in a different direction. Should that happen, we'll put out an immediate release and call for the media to come back so we can release that. But right now, we do believe, again, that Mr. Reddy did commit these murders, that he did kill himself. We're just waiting for the scientific evidence through the medical examiner's office to go ahead and validate those facts.
Sorry, just two questions. Clarification on the calls. You say 4 previous times. Yesterday was the 5th. Is that correct? And only one of those was in relation to a domestic violence.
It would be 5 previous, and yesterday's would be a 6th.
Okay. And only one
Was a domestic violence report.
was a domestic violence that was 6 months delayed.
It was a 6-month delayed report, yes.
And when was
And then the
that
other
made?
question is, what more can you tell us about this ear witness, about the 911 call, where it was made from, where she was, how that kind of transpired?
Sure, I'd be happy to elaborate a little bit. We did get a call from inside as an argument was taking place. The caller in this case, and we believe it's going to be Lisa Medeiros, stated that she needed police to respond to the household, that there was a domestic violence argument going on, and that she needed police to respond. Towards the end of that call, there were shots fired, and the phone line went dead. Shortly after that, we did receive a different call from a different line from somebody who was also inside the house, who had found several bodies inside the household.
Is that the woman who was the suspect, who was the witness you were talking about yesterday?
I can't hear you, sir.
Was that the woman who was the witness you were talking about yesterday?
Yes, that would be.
What was the time interval between Lisa's call and the 911 calls?
I'm not certain right now. I haven't looked at the timestamps on the calls.
Okay, and do you know if when she was calling police heard gunshots?
Can you repeat?
On the phone call when Lisa was calling,
Yes, on the first phone call, a person who we believe right now is Lisa, there were gunshots heard in the background.
Those items found or the liquid found, or whatever you found in the drugs, was that anything that consisted of creating meth, making meth, anything like that?
And I can't talk about that. That's not going to be our investigating. The Gilbert Police Department is solely investigating a homicide. Nothing to do with the chemicals and the munitions that were found in the house.
Can you tell me what are those state and federal agencies working on this with you?
I don't have a significant list. I know that the Mesa Police Department bomb squad responded initially to help clear for the safety reasons for our responders in the neighborhood. The Joint Terrorism Task Force did respond and provide aid. There's also assets from the Department of Defense that helped us with the military ordinance.
Sergeant, we've heard that J.T. Reddy had a dog who was his inseparable companion. Was a dog found at the scene?
No, sir.
ATF, sir?
I do not believe ATF was there, but I'm not certain.
How many agencies in total?
I don't know. I didn't get a count. I'm sorry.
about J.T. Reddy, was he found wearing body armor? Was he found with a gun in his hand? Did he have camouflage on? Can you tell me a little bit how he was found?
There was no body armor on any person involved in this incident. As far as fatigues or camouflage, I can't speak to that right now.
The two men were outside, back your front yard?
Yeah, outside, very close to the front door.
Have you found out anything new about Reddy's relationship with Medeiros?
Him and Miss Lisa Medeiros were living together in that household.
Is that, at this point, is that the extent of what you guys know about their relationship?
We believe that they're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Do you have any information about what this, can you tell us anything about what this argument was about yesterday?
I cannot. Okay?
And again, it was 5 times you've been called to the house previously?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Domestic violence?
I'm sorry?
When was the domestic violence call?
The call came to the police in February of this year, but the incident happened between 6 and 7 months previous, so it was delayed over 6 months.
What were the details of that call?
It was a call regarding Miss Medeiros' claim that she was choked by Mr. Reddy.
And were any charges as a result of the previous incidents, any charges filed?
No, there was no probable cause established for any crime in that incident. Moving on from here, we don't anticipate any additional press briefings. Again, only unless something drastically changes in the course of our investigation. There's nothing to lead us to believe that that will happen. Right now, we're just going to wait on the scientific evidence to validate our investigation up to this point. I do thank you all for coming out today. And that's all we have today. Okay?
Listening to Sergeant Bill Balafas with the Gilbert Police Department, and we're learning a little bit, I guess, that's new about this, including what was apparently a very shocking 911 call.
That's right. It was his girlfriend that called 911. She was asking for police to show up to their house because she was very scared for her life, and it turns out that there were shots fired. That's what the 911 operators are reporting, and that then the line went dead on that. Police also saying that this was clearly a domestic violence situation. They're in the process of going through all these 911 calls, and it sounds like there were 5 previous times that police were called. One of those was for aggravated assault. She claimed that she was choked. Lisa, we're talking about here, claimed she was choked by J.T. Reddy. No charges, though, were filed in that specific incident.
Yeah, and after that 911 call where we hear shots fired, apparently there was another call made also from inside that home from someone else, and police have not identified who that person was. They have said that they have spoken to a witness who has been providing some of the information in this case, but police clearly believing at this point that J.T. Reddy, the person in question here, was the person who fired the shots, killing all 4 of those people, and then ultimately taking his own life. And police saying they don't expect that to change at this point. They are waiting on what they call scientific evidence, and part of it is going to refer to toxicology reports that are going to come out to find out if Reddy or anybody else inside the home was under the influence of drugs or alcohol or anything like that. Those reports can typically take a few weeks, and so it may be a while before we learn some of that. But at this point, police appear to be very confident that they know exactly what happened here.
Yeah, they do not believe that this investigation will go in any other way. We're going to continue to follow this for you on ABC15.com as well as on ABC 15 News at 5. We'll see you then.